Fantastic. Transitioning us in and fixing it. Good. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Nexus Commentaries. I am Zexrus. With me tonight is my good buddy Balrog fan. What's going on?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going great. I'm ready for some sweet chair league action tonight.
Yeah, Bang Bang versus Lionspeed. Lionspeed was a very solid team, if I remember. A few missteps against a very, very strong team, but Lionspeed looking to recover, I'm sure, this week.
Yeah, that was definitely a entertaining match, to say the least. Lionspeed showing themselves to be very canny against a very skilled opponent, I'll say. So,
yeah, the name of the skilled opponent is blanking on me. I think it was it You Go Down Right that they played last week?
I don't...
Or
maybe, or it was maybe Snitches Get Stitches. It was one of the...
Or were they playing... No. Huh.
Well, if you go to our YouTube, you'll be able to
that's
find
what I'm doing right now.
So,
you should continue to plug the YouTube page, though.
Absolutely. We do have a YouTube page where all of the VODs that we cast go up pretty much at the end of the night. It takes a little bit for Twitch to export those over, but they get there. At some point, I'll get MooBot set up, and it'll just, constantly throw that link out for everybody.
By the way, they played You Face Braxis.
That's right.
They lost 2-0, but both games were pretty close.
Yeah, it were really, really fun games to watch right there. It was very, very entertaining. So
I need to get into the chair league thing here.
You've seen the...
You've
seen it. It's
yeah. I just remembered because I was doing something else, and then you distracted me with Spoopy head banging Charlie. Jesus Christ, that just looks scary.
I gotta remember to clip that at the end of the night.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I could just clip it now if that's what you want.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Clip.
So, yeah, we're just waiting for the teams to get inside of the Nexus so we can get started. We've already got our lobby invite. Fantastic.
Can you invite me then?
I sure can, good buddy. Looks like we're going to be on Tomb of the Spider Queen. And I need to get that going. But it doesn't look like we're going to be losing a whole lot of time and waiting for these teams. Both teams are fully in. We've got our Roman Reigner portraits rocking, and Charlie...
Sorry. I was clipping that thing for you. Go ahead, invite now. Sorry.
There you go. Let me get this link out one more time for the other teams. And they were already ready to go. It looks like I might need to swap these boys around. Yep, I sure do. No, I don't. I'm good. Never mind.
And the lobby mode's okay in standard? Aren't we supposed to set that to like tournament draft or something?
I believe they will.
I still didn't join the chair league thing because I keep getting distracted.
You've got the room.
Yeah, I know. There we go.
All right, I'm excited. And like I'm just happy we're starting with Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Yeah, it's always a good map for gauging people's strengths and weaknesses against each other. Very, very close quarters in Tomb, so you get a lot of back and forth trading early on, which can let you get a read on your opponent. I think it's a good map to start off with when you're not very familiar with who you're playing against.
All right. Looks like everything is good to go here as we about get ready for game one on Tomb of the Spider Queen of this best of three between Bang Bang and Lionspeed.
And I believe Lionspeed is Team 2, and they will be drafting first. So
yeah,
we're going to be transitioning over here in just a moment, bring you this draft. So here we are, Tomb of the Spider Queen.
I want to see a Cho'Gall Aria. Let's go.
Oh, with the cheese off the bat.
I may have some insider information that from one of the teams tonight, we may see something a little crazy.
Something crazy, huh? Well, Garrosh gets banned off the bat. I don't blame him. I'm beginning to think he's the best tank in the game.
I don't. That's. He's really hard to kill in the right comp, but I just think Arthas and Dahaka still kind of outpace him, especially when throws don't matter anymore at 16 for Haka, and Arthas is just incredibly tanky to begin with. You can any armor reduction kind of stomps on Garrosh's trait, but Garrosh is really good. I'd probably put him in the 3-4 slot on of best tanks right now in the meta. Behind he'd definitely be in the 4.
Okay, well, yeah, I guess that's fair. He does have a very strong early game and falls off late. Maybe fair to say he might be the best early game hero, warrior. But
yeah, I'll go with that one definitely. Like just catching someone and chucking him over a wall, free kill.
Just chucking him into your team early. It's so easy to hit that grab, I feel.
Yeah, it's a really good grab. We see a Gall ban out of Bang Bang.
Still leaving Cho on the table now, but yeah, I mean, you just do that if you know you don't deal with Cho'Gall well, and you suspect the other team might be doing it. You get that ban out of the way. Obviously, you leave yourself open to a very good pick here. I think Malthael is very good on Tomb of the Spider Queen. I also think that specialists like Zool are really strong here, so you have a few options in that first pick when you're on this map.
Yeah, definitely. There are some really good heroes on this map that you won't see normally elsewhere.
Yeah. Specialists definitely can go to the front. Solo laners are very important as well. Someone who can hold the bottom lane down if you're going to rotate 4 between the top and mid lanes. Heroes like Nazebo, I'd say, are also strong candidates for that bottom lane fill.
Yeah, Sylvanas also is no slouch on this, but we see the Tassadar first pick out of Lionspeed, and that's just a really solid first pick.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with Tassadar. It tips your hand a little bit. You can try to choke out the strong assassins right now, which would be a solid strategy by Bang Bang. I mean, if you just went Vala Greymane here, you wouldn't bat an eye about it. You know, you got 2 strong heroes, and you took away 2 big tools for Tassadar to buff up. But we'll have to see how Bang Bang chooses to approach this. But that's I feel like if you're going to use Tassadar, you want to take your battery first.
And there's the Vala pick, and we might just... I won't be surprised if you're right here. But that does open up some shenanigans like the Tassadar Tracer.
Oh, yeah, there's still plenty of heroes to pair with Tassadar that work very well. You can consider an auto-attack hero just as much as... or an auto-attack melee hero just as much as a range. So yeah. It's safer to use range, but you get just as much mileage putting a shield on Thrall or characters like that. They opt to take their support here in Lucio. I've noticed a bump in Lucio's solo support ability.
I'm slightly scared right now because I feel a nightmare coming on, and we might just see Zarya Illidan come out.
Zarya and Illidan. That would be quite the combo to pair with Tassadar. You'd have a lot of ability to jump on the back line. Well, they quickly lock in their tank and second support, letting them know that they want these specific heroes right away. They must have a plan for damage later.
Yeah, they've got to have. I think they will have a really good plan here, because pretty much the whole board is open for them in terms of what they want those last 2 picks to be. They could go literally anywhere at this point. They could go Zebo, Illidan. They could go Sylvanas and somebody else, another
Yeah,
damage dealer. Like this is
I think someone this on the side of Lionspeed, they might be considering someone like Alaric here. He would pair really well with that team. He'd have a lot of chances to set up, and obviously the full heal from Rhaegar is always on deck in case he needs it to be bailed out. Lunara was going to be my next thing, and I think that's a great ban here. Lunara does really well with Tassadar. She has mobility, and having that strong healing presence from Rhaegar really makes Lunara very strong. So yeah, not a bad ban there at all.
Yeah, no, you that second rib cage coming into play on Lunara, just helps her get out so much damage.
That's right. Here at the Nexus Commentary, we will not let you forget that Lunara has 2 rib cages, not one.
we won't. So if I'm Lionspeed, who am I looking to ban out here? They've got a really good DPS. They've got a decent I would say secondary heal. I don't think Lucio's prime for the solo spot yet.
Probably not against double support, but maybe if you want to try and choke out the damage. So you want to, I think, I suspect maybe Lionspeed has some shenanigans, so they might just want to ban out the best damage dealer available or the best tank available. So I would see an Arthas or a Greymane ban here being very good. Uther?
Okay. They're smelling the double support, and I don't blame them.
Uther pairs very well with Lucio too. He hides a lot of Lucio's weaknesses. Someone like Stukov does not pair as well with Lucio because they do more of the same together. It's granted the healing will still be there. It's just they don't cover each other's weaknesses. So Uther's a really good ban there.
Yeah, I like that ban definitely. It was nice heads up sniff out. But then again, we could be completely wrong, and Bang Bang have absolutely no intention of drafting a double support comp.
Yeah, you're never really too clear on a team strategy until after these 2 picks. Then things start to shake themselves out. So it'll be interesting to see what Bang Bang's electing to go with here. Just with the Vala and Lucio alone, they need a tank. I think Arthas pairs and Johanna apparently. Bang Bang taking the words out of my mouth with their picks 2 times tonight already. But yes, Arthas is a great pick with this team. He provides a lot of lockdown. He slows people. It lets people stay kind of close together, which is beneficial for Lucio and Vala. Johanna does more of the same with her pull-ins and her blinds and everything. So a couple of good tank picks there.
Not to mention, they do have some pretty good wave clear between multi-shot and the condemn on Johanna.
Yes.
I'd like to... I'm going to say it. I want to see Azul out of Bang Bang.
Yeah, I think Zul would be a very strong pickup to complement that team. He would definitely be good at doing what they're going to be trying to do, which seemingly will be holding gems, collecting them, not giving them up and getting the first 2 turn-ins. A lot of times, the strategy on Tomb of the Spider Queen is to push out the 3 forts before the other team gets to push out your 3 forts, because it gets infinitely harder to turn in and manage your space once your 2 forts are pushed out. So Zul would really do that. Gul'dan?
Ooh, I love it. I love this.
We knew some damage dealers were coming. What do you think about these 2?
Okay, so Butcher right now is pretty strong in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
So, I love the Butcher final pick. He's gonna get so much. The only thing that worries me is the Johanna blind. He's gonna have to time his Butcher marks very, very carefully on this. But if this works,
go ahead.
He's gonna take Cleave when it comes up. He's gonna be fully stacked. That ET Mosh is gonna come in, and people are just gonna melt between the damage of the Gul'dan, Tassadar, and the Butcher, and Butcher's going to get stacked up really hard if their execution is on. I'm really excited to see this. I've been waiting for somebody to pick Butcher.
And you brought up a good point, too, about picking him last. Butcher is one of those heroes. You want to mask the pick. I believe Illidan's like that as well. He's somebody who's very counter-pickable. And because there are so many supports and assassins with good stuns, if you show that pick too early, then they can easily pick into those heroes that they might not have normally picked into. But now, well, they had 1 pick to respond, and they chose Cassia, which is not a bad response.
No, that's a really good response. That's they can stack the blinds onto that Butcher and nerf his effectiveness, a great deal. So this is really going to come down to execution at this point, and how well Big Wiz on that Butcher is going to be able to avoid those blinds.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree that neither team stumbled in the draft, and this is going to be all about executing their game plans here because both drafts very, very strong.
Yeah, I am in love with both these drafts. I think this was if we're calling winners and losers, this was definitely a tie in my opinion.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if either of these teams are suffering from internal strife or infighting, but none of them have coordinated portraits, which is always kind of a warning sign. You want your portraits to match up to show that you have unity, especially in Chair League.
I will give Bang Bang credit. They are rocking a lot of the pandas, and L5 was known for using Chen, so I'm going to give them a pass.
Okay, all right.
So they've got the panda pals on their side.
There we go.
I respect that. So,
yeah, I guess I kind of glossed over. I'm just looking for the same portrait all the time. I kind of jumped the gun there.
So we're into the game. This is Bang Bang versus Lionspeed, Game 1.
And on the blue side of Team Bang Bang, we have Kronos on Arthas, Set Standby Sim on Cassia, Hocho on Vala, Null on Johanna, and Nate Dogg on Lucio.
And on the side of Lionspeed, we've got Dan Troop on the gold, Dan Glaucius on Tassadar, S-Fox 64 on the ETC, Big Wiz on the Butcher, and then we've got Satchel on the Wolf guy himself, Rhaegar.
Both teams opting to head towards the mid for that always exciting opening skirmish. A couple of sprays,
The
little
Lucios.
vision.
Love it.
Making sure he's getting out. They're trying to establish spray dominance here, making sure they have the lane pushed out with the more spray tags. Very important in the early game.
Very, very important in the early game. And
Tassadar.
go ahead.
Oh, Tassadar putting his beam damage on there, stacking his quest as early as possible. ETC's taking a lot of damage. He's got to disengage. So does Tassadar because he is not looking very healthy at the moment. Eats a blind, but he's able to escape closely. And Gul'dan gets taken out in the bottom lane. Wow.
Yeah, that's did not see that coming. And here on Nexus Commentaries, we always make sure to miss first blood.
Yes.
This is how we roll.
We try to get... Anyways, we got some action down in the mid. Vala goes down. She's getting blown up by Tassadar. Tassadar just stacking that quest, doing a lot of damage. The Butcher's right there in his face.
Ooh, Cassia almost getting that kill onto the Butcher. Big Wiz taps the well. And it seems to be safe. Tassadar does go down, though, from a three-man gank. And Satchel needs to be careful just a little bit as Cassia and Lucio were right there and probably could have capitalized. Null comes in.
Yeah.
Null clear that wave. And we were just Butcher up top, just doing Butcher things, eating meat. And we go back to the mid lane.
Yeah, and right now you see on the side of Team Bang Bang, their primary concern has just been trying to keep gems and turn in and make sure that they have the gem advantage. Right now they're slightly ahead, 22-17. We'll keep an eye on that because I believe that to be Team Bang Bang's strategy for the late game.
Yeah, I would like to see... Oh, would we miss another... Gul'dan just having one rough time down in the bottom lane. I should...
Yeah, we need to keep an eye on Kronos because he's always where the action is, apparently. A couple of really strong roots have landed him these early kills.
Yeah.
We got a little engage up on the top right now as Butcher's pushing out and Team Bang Bang setting up for a gank. Johanna goes in with the Condemn, pulls him forward. Butcher marks her, trying to stay healthy, but he cannot keep that health. And he goes down.
And dropping 10 gems in the process. Rhaegar not able to get in there and get it in time. So This is a nice advantage on the side of Bang Bang. They're playing very well. Their rotations are nice and crisp, and killing a Butcher before he gets those stacks is always a great boon. You always want to delay those stacks.
Oh yeah, for sure. The less time you have to deal with Butcher in the early game, the less of a monster he'll be in the late game. We see Bang Bang rotating in. They're coming down on Tassadar. Tassadar's trying to E away, and there's those roots I was talking about from Kronos, but Butcher's coming in, and he slams down Arthas. Vala's trying to get away. Is her vault up going to be up in time? She eats the slam, and she gets out just by the skin of her teeth.
Ooh, Tassadar. Oh, that wasn't good. Tassadar goes down. Nice rotation from Bang Bang right there. Gets the quick pick off, and just too much damage for Tassadar to even press E.
All kinds of deaths happening all over the map. The action is just heavy. Start off. Bang bang. Lionspeed doing their best to stabilize here. They need to calm down and soak the lane a bit because they're not going to have the advantage they want until level 10.
This is correct. We see Arthas coming down onto this Butcher real quick, and Butcher needs to be very, very careful. Make sure that, because that Val is waiting in the wings, and she's about to come in and brute onto the Butcher. Tassadar getting that beam damage on. They're continually going on to Arthas here, and I don't think it's going to pay off the way he wants it to.
No, and meanwhile, top Team Bang Bang trying to secure a turn-in with Johanna, and Lionspeed doesn't want to let it happen. They're desperately trying to interrupt this Johanna turn-in, but she gets it off, and that's going to be our first Web Weaver phase. Cassia taking a lot of damage from the ETC stun, and she's going to go down. The team's back off and reset, getting ready for the first Web Weavers.
Yeah, that was a good delay on the side of Bang Bang right there. It did secure them the Web Weaver turn-in, and really this is a very important advantage for Bang Bang. They need to capitalize on this to extend that lead even farther now.
And I really believe this was always their strategy. They knew they could farm gems a lot better with this team comp, especially early, but we got a gank coming up as the Butcher comes in and charges on Lucio. Lucio dashes out. He's taking poison damage. He's going to try to hurry to the well. It looks like he's going to get out, but Tassadar goes down on the other side. What is going on, Sex?
Hard to say. Just Bang Bang is just really on point with the counter initiations. Lucio even survived that through the poison damage that Turn It Up coming well into play, and this mid fort is definitely not long for this world at this point. And both, honestly, all their forts are in dire jeopardy right now. If I were Bang Bang, I would immediately rotate to the bottom, because that's a nice, healthy Web Weaver at bottom.
Yeah, and Tassadar's going to get down there to do some damage, but we see Bang Bang moving in to respond to clear out the minions and try to take this other fort. It looks like Lionspeed's going to be able to preserve their top fort, but this bottom one's probably going to belong to Bang Bang in just a moment.
Yeah, and it does indeed. The tower going down as well, and this is very dangerous territory for Lionspeed at the moment. You got to be kind of worried for him. Bang Bang might actually be able to get another turn, and if they can delay them long enough, it's going to be about another 2 minutes until Lionspeed are able to get their level 10s.
Yeah, and with a comp like this, you're really waiting on 10. You're looking to capitalize off of things like Mosh Pit and Chain to the Rock and Gul'dan's ultimate. Everything just really comes online for this team for team fighting once they hit 10.
Yeah, they've got to get a turn in very soon here. Otherwise, this game could just spiral out of control as we watch Bang Bang cleaning up that Merc camp in the middle.
Well, here's the good news if you're Lionspeed. You're really only down a little bit right now, and you have enough for a turn-in. So the name of the game is just trying to stay alive, keep your gems, and get your level 10. It's going to be hard to contest what Bang Bang is doing at the moment until you get 10. So really, they just got to play safe for the time being.
You're definitely not wrong. We see them group as 4 in that mid lane. Clearly, they're just trying to delay soak to 10 here real quick. But we don't. Bang Bang's not going to wait for this. They're going to try to go in right now and get an advantage before they do hit their 10s, as more sprays are flying. Rip the environment.
Lionspeed showing off, telling them we know how to soak experience safely. You're not getting us that easy. Meanwhile, Tassadar's up top, and things aren't looking good for him. Arthas is on him. He's going to need to use some crafty maneuvers to get away from him.
Oh, and he did it. 1 ticket to Juke City, courtesy Tassadar right there.
Oh, and he hits the root, but Arthas chose not to engage. I think he didn't think it would connect since Tassadar was already on the jet.
Yeah, so right now we're looking on the side for heroics for Lionspeed. We're looking at Mosh Pit, Force Wall, Lamb to the Slaughter. I love that choice right there. Horrify and Ancestral Healing. And this is going to be a really big engage. So Force Wall comes out, splitting them up. Army of Dead gets popped. Tassadar way in the back, throws down Psionic Storm. And we see ETC hit a 2-man Mosh, but gets stopped. The Horrify does come out. The Ancestral onto the Gul'dan, lands cleanly. Valor goes down. Soundberry pops out onto Bang Bang. ETC does die. We got a 1-for-1 trade, and really, that's a win for Lionspeed right there. Big was in a lot of trouble. Oh, that was a great charge right there. He's blinded, though. He's not going to be able to get the healing off, and he goes down, dropping a whole lot of gems, and that's fairly catastrophic on the side of Lionspeed, despite that really good, that engage. That was just very well played by them.
Yeah, the problem with this has been the Tassadar's secondary healing output isn't matching what Lucio is bringing to the table. He's keeping his team very healthy, and mainly his 2 tanks on the front line who are able to disrupt things and cause chaos during these team fights. The level lead doesn't hurt either.
No, it definitely doesn't, but really, Tassadar's secondary healing, it's kind of getting stuffed by this Cassia. She's just blinding whatever target has a shield. That's typically the Butcher. And so all that extra healing he could be getting is just non-existent. It's just a shield at that point.
Yeah, the Johanna blinds and the Cassia counterpick to Butcher proving very strong and paying dividends for Team Bang Bang right now as they hold a fairly secure lead at the moment. But we all know things can change on the dime of one team fight, so we're looking for Lionspeed to make this interesting and get back into it.
Ooh, nice stun. Johanna has to pop the Iron Skin right there. And now the fight begins. Lance with the Slaughter onto the Arthas right there. Throws the Fend out, followed by the sound barrier from Lucio. And now Lionspeed is in a big bit of trouble right now. Throws the Hunter's Mark onto Johanna, and he's just trying to stop her as much as possible. Ancestral does go down onto the Butcher right there, but he's just trying to get away, and it looks like Rhaegar is going to drop 43 gems. There goes your turn in.
Yeah, that's pretty crippling to lose that many gems off the team fight when you're already fighting this massive push in the mid. They're going to have to go ahead and clean up this lane, and meanwhile they're going to have another camp pushing in.
Yep, nice aggressive movement coming out of Bang Bang right there, taking that camp while Lionspeed were worried about other things, so they're going to try to push as much advantage as possible. And we do see they do have a potential siege camp play on top of this turn-in that they're going to get.
Yeah, this is one of the problems with Butcher, though, and why we probably don't see him as much as we do when we're just playing casually. He's easily counterpicked with the blinds, and 2 blinds have been very tough for him to deal with. He is going to run in and get this Valor right away, though. It looks like he's trying to back out right now. Johanna's on their backline trying to displace him. ETC and Butcher taking a lot of damage. Butcher catches the shield and he's trying to get out. He's just going to take a lot of damage, though, and go down. ETC comes in with the giant mosh pit, hitting all 3. He gets stunned out of it, though. Johanna coming back in with the unstoppable. ETC taking a ton of damage from Cassia's spear strike. Wow.
Yeah.
Just trying to disengage.
He survived that.
They got out.
Barely enough. That was a great heads-up play from Johanna to hit that Iron Skin early and immediately hit the Condemn to stuff any potential huge combo that could have come out on the side of Lionspeed right there. It was just amazing heads-up tanking play right there. I'm thoroughly impressed.
Great situational awareness by Standby Null. Great situational awareness there by Wall. No. God.
No. Yeah.
No. Having a good talk today with Wolves.
I really don't think this keeps long for this world at this point. Cassie doing a great job of utilizing that creep wave to get some extra damage onto this keep right here, and
they've maximized the value on all of their turn-ins too. Bang Bang has. I mean, the amount of mileage they've gotten out of 2 turn-ins is 3 forts and 1 keep. And they still have 24 gems and are more than a third of the way there to another turn-in. They're putting on a ton of pressure on the map, and they're going to just keep doing it by going to boss.
Yeah, this is a really smart call. I love this call from Bang Bang. They're just taking every advantage. This Tassadar is going to sniff this out, though. He's going to see that boss is being taken, but really, I don't think there's a whole lot that you can do about it at this point.
No, there wasn't enough time to respond. Even with Tassadar's vision, all they would have been going up there to do was fight around a boss, which is never a good idea.
Yeah, no. And it looks like, ooh, nice Lamb to the Slaughter there. Landed on Lucio. And
Glaus is proving to be very elusive. He's gotten away many times on Tassadar thus far since hitting his level 13.
Yeah, he is definitely very hard to kill. at the moment. It's got to be really annoying when there's that one player you just can't seem to pin down.
Yeah, yeah. Giving him his basic abilities that 50% reduction
Star
really
Fox
helps.
taking a whole lot of damage. Ancestral has to come in just a little bit early from Rhaegar right there. Dantru trying to throw as much damage as possible. Starts life draining the Arthas. The Butcher goes in. The Fear comes out onto everybody right there, pushing them in. And really, Dantru is in a little bit of a terrifying spot. It's him versus the world. As everyone's trying to heal up in the fountain, he goes down from the strafe and hungering arrow. Nice echo from the ETC right there in order to stop the Fenton, but this is just a foregone conclusion at this point. Nice Mosh Pit onto 5, but it's not enough at the end as this core is rapidly dropping. 50, 49, 30, 12, 72. Sound barrier comes out. Nice mana right there. And that's game 1. About just under 15 minutes. That was a Bang Bang showing they can execute.
Yeah, they really countered that draft too. That was one of the problems of showing Tassadar early, though. The team kind of at least knows one blind. They're going to need one blind, and they picked that up in the Johanna when they got their next 2 picks later on, knowing that Johanna would still be there, prioritizing picks like Vala and Lucio. But yeah, I mean, those blinds were just crippling for Lionspeed to deal with. They had no answer.
Yeah, it was really, really hard. Like, I saw that Cassia pick come out, and I'm like, oh no. Like, all she has to do is drop it on whatever target Butcher goes after, and good times. It looks like we're going to go to Cursed Hollow next. I love it.
Yeah, Cursed Hollow is a good map. I always enjoy calling a Cursed Hollow. Always focusing on the size of the map is one of the things to consider when drafting for Cursed Hollow. It's always important to consider global talents on most maps, but especially on large maps like Cursed Hollow. So expect a priority on characters like Falstad, Dahaka, and to a lesser extent Brightwing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're just going to get this lobby set up here.
Let me get you in here. Good, buddy.
There we go.
That was a very, very entertaining game 1. We do have the teams swapped on the opposite sides now. So Lionspeed is on team 1, and Bang Bang is now on the red side, aka team 2.
I do not play for Bang Bang, so you might need to move me to Ops.
This is very true. Can we? Charlie suddenly
Yes.
an amateur pro.
Ready to play for Bang Bang now. So we're going to be going into the draft in just a moment here. Teams are getting set up. We want to thank you for checking out Nexus Commentaries. If you haven't before, hit that follow button. We appreciate it. Trying to make sure all amateur games that we can possibly cast get casted for you guys. So there's VODs out there. There's information out there. Plenty of resources for everybody in the amateur community to latch onto. We're going to try to stay here, be a strong presence. So follow, support. We really appreciate it. We just want to bring you the action.
I don't even have to say anything past that. You pretty much covered it. Like, how am I? Yes, please follow. Hit follow button. Good stuff. Happy Zex.
Nailed it. That's why we call you the king of PR, man.
Yeah.
So, team's getting ready. I'm going to check, make sure everyone's ready. Everyone good to start.
Clickety clackety clackety clackety.
Clickety clack, because I forgot to mute, because I'm a bad host. But yes, Cursed Hollow, I think pretty much most damage is on the table here on this map. You have a lot of options for how you want to approach your team and the composition. Obviously, globals are always a consideration, whether you ban them out or put a first pick priority on them. That's generally dealer's choice. But at the end of the day, I'd say Cursed Hollow is probably the most neutral map in Heroes of the Storm, and pretty much most heroes that aren't, in the dumpster and the meta at the moment are fair game.
Yeah. All right. And here we go. We are headed into Cursed Hollow, as we've said about 7 billion times at this point.
Remember, on this time on the left side we have Lionspeed, and on the right we have Bang Bang for our viewers who are just not just joining us, because that wouldn't affect them.
I had the names swapped before we even went in.
Ah, yes. Well, that's good.
Just good.
Yeah.
So yeah, Maltail ban, Chromie ban, they are just Tearzine. They're just clicking stuff. And really, they should let you click the purple man for a ban. Just a random ban.
Yeah, ban a rando. I think you shouldn't miss bans. You should probably ban a random person. I don't know, actually. That might be pretty lame, though.
Yeah, that would actually. Okay, so we see the Abathur ban right here, and that that's a fair ban.
Yeah, definitely. He's a hard hero to deal with, especially on big maps. He can provide a big advantage in maps where you're forced to distract yourself with objectives early on, because he's free to soak whatever lane isn't being occupied. This is a map where that happens quite often, so that's why you see a lot of strong Abathur play on Cursed Hollow, and it's a great band.
So is this one. Dahaka, his ability to split soak and then join in for team fights is just nightmarish.
Whenever I talk global presence, I always forget to bring up Abathur, but he is probably the best when it comes to global presence, besides Dahaka. I don't know. Falstad's really good too. It's tough. All three of them are just nightmares to deal with. I think Falstad a little less so these days compared to Dahaka and Abathur on Cursed Hollow, so...
Well,
I don't know.
I really consider the difference between... Gust is an absolutely amazing ability. However, it's not a tongue. It's just not that constant threat of CC.
Yeah. You can set up some great Gust plays here, too. We've seen them before. People getting gusted off bosses and bosses getting stolen, things like that. So Falstad is very strong here. It just feels like Abathur and clone strategies are a little stronger as you said, the constant presence of Dahaka is more overwhelming than Falstad.
You know what I don't miss? The Abathur Zagara Nidus network nonsense.
Yeah, I'm glad that's gone. Oh my god.
God, that was just annoying to deal with.
Anyways, we see an Anubarak pickup by Bang Bang. What do you think about Anubarak right now?
He's still incredibly strong. Top 4 tanks in the game right now. He carries so well into the late game. Cocoon is, as we've interviewed Casanova from Space Station Gaming before, and he takes it, but under protest.
Yeah, because it's so good.
Yeah, it's so good, and it's so anti-fun.
One thing I'd like to throw in there, too, something to consider when you first pick. Anubarak, like Willie said, is probably the 3rd or 4th best tank, but he's arguably the most neutral tank in what teams he fits. He fits a lot of teams, so he really masks your strategy early on.
Oh, I love it!
Unlike Lionspeed, who kind of put it all out there right away.
Just go all in. Let's do this. Tracer Tacit are out the gate. I want to see an Ariel in here. Let's give the Holy Trinity to Tracer. The little Brit girl deserves her moment in the sun. Let's go. Let's do this. I love this combination. It's so silly.
I don't agree showing it so early. I think those are 2 picks that aren't priority right now. They can easily be shown as your 3rd and 4th or...
Well, here's the thing. You can't stuff that as easily as you could with the Butcher, because Tracer can simply just recall any blinds off of her.
That's very fair. Tracer is a lot...
Oh my god, what is this game?
There goes the Ariel.
This is the best. I love this. This is so good.
Lost Vikings, for people who aren't very familiar with Lost Vikings, 3 heroes. You can move them independently or move them as a group. They're very good at soaking all 3 lanes. They're good at camping in lanes and taking the experience advantage. And they get a pretty decent power spike when they hit 10 with their ultimate. And whether usually these days it's play it again because you can put out a surprising amount of the damage on the Lost Vikings, especially if the team doesn't prioritize taking them down.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then Ariel, though I am wondering who they're. If I'm Lionspeed right now, I'm really worried about either Vala or Greymane.
Yeah, you have to really consider those two with Ariel in play, and Vala immediately gets banned. And when you have the first pick, they get the first 2 picks next. I expect them to take a Greymane in there.
Yeah, and they need a really good counter. They need a really good counter to the Anubarak. And Malthael would have been a really good counter, but I'm more worried about him interrupting something. So,
are we going to see Cho'Gall here? Is the question.
No, that would be silly. That's putting too much on that poor. Oh, this is too big of a man. Stop it! You got me on a tirade. What are you doing?
We're already lining ourselves up for one of the nuttiest games possible. Cho'Gall would just be the cherry on top.
Yeah. God.
I think right here you got to go Greymane and a tank, but what are you thinking?
I'm thinking Greymane and Arthas.
Greymane and Arthas, so we're locking step here.
Varian, yeah, I love that. That's great. He's been underutilized. Nothing's changed about him. He's still really strong. Taunt, incredible. Taunt would be an amazing way to handle a Nubarak.
Definitely. Varian's a very strong choice, very flexible hero. Lets you adapt to your situations more than most heroes will allow.
I want to see another healer. I want to see. Okay, I like this. This is it's going to come on later than what the Vikings can do, but what?
What? There we go. Cho'Gall, Ariel, Lost Vikings, and Anubarak. Your comp for Bang Bang, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm just going to transition to us here real quick. I don't know what to think right now. If this works, I still have to eat a fruit hat, so I'm not going to do anything. This isn't the map you expect to see Joe on, but I've seen nuttier things work. There was another team last week that almost won with,
and we see the final pick is Stukov for Lionspeed.
That's a lot to put on the shoulders of a boy who doesn't really become a real boy until 10.
Yeah, they're going to have a lot of trouble with Cho'Gall in the early game, especially around those tributes.
Well, I mean, I like the Stukov pick here because it kind of stuffs Cho'Gall's abilities. It'll also stuff Ariel abilities, forcing them to reposition constantly. But
his healing isn't very strong in the early game, and when you pair him in duo support, you're looking for somebody who can cover that weakness, and that's not Tassadar. He can provide shields. Varian can shield wall himself. Tracer's got a lot of mobility, so a lot of protection is going to be needed for Zagara. I expect her to be the primary target of Bang Bang initially, or Stukov. Should be interesting.
This is definitely going to be a welcome to Heroes, everyone.
Yeah.
I'm so. I don't want to say tilted. But I'm off balance because of that Cho'Gall pick. I mean,
I told you we were lining up for the nuttiest game ever. So here we go. We're getting started. And on the blue team is Lionspeed. We have StarFox64 on Tassadar, Dan Troop on Varian, Glaucis on Tracer, Big Wiz on Zagara, and Sichel on Stukov.
And on the side of Bang Bang, we've got Null on the Zagara. Hotanos on Cho'Gall, Nate Dogg on the Ariel, and we've got Set Standby Someone on the Vikings.
That's what that means.
And yeah, Set Standby Someone.
I was calling him Set Standby Simon or something dumb in the first game.
Yeah, it could be, but we see the. Now that I look at this comp, it makes sense to go Cho'Gall here. Like I don't really hate this. This is
look at all the damage they're putting on this tower early.
Well,
we're gonna take this tower without any problems.
They're not in any danger of losing soak because they all have to respond to this, and the Vikings are just free to soak at this point.
Very cool strategy by Team Bang Bang. Kind of weird. I've never really considered how you could cover Cho'Gall's weaknesses with the Lost Vikings, but they're showing it off right here.
Yeah, Cho'Gall going in on that Zagara gets silenced by the Stukov, the angry undead Zergian Russian, just wanting to smack people with that arm, but instead he's just going to throw some disease at everybody.
And as you said, Varian doesn't become a big boy until level 10, so they really are going to have a hard time stuffing this push, and the towers and the walls are already gone.
Yeah, really, there's really nothing stopping them. This is essentially free push on the side of Bang Bang.
And Lionspeed has responded by pushing hard in the mid keep. They got one of the towers down up there, and they're just trying to get some damage on these Vikings when they can.
That's so ridiculous. That Pulse Bomb just tickled Cho'Gall. Like, it did just an inkling of help, and this is a very dangerous spot for Varian right now. So low, Cho'Gall's got more than enough health. The heal comes in with that bio kill switch, and Dan Troop is just, again, look, that's no damage on Cho'Gall, and Ariel just heals it up. I would love to see them take out this well as quickly as possible.
Yeah, they really need to try and get this well down so they can't stick around and defend themselves. But it looks like they both tap, so the priority's not as important there. Olaf going back there, just trying to get in people's faces and distract while they put damage on the towers.
Yeah,
Lionspeed, meanwhile, in the mid lane, has taken out one of the towers still and is working down this other one, but is being harassed by the Vikings.
This fort is not long for this world at this point, and oh, that was a really good pulse bomb out of the Tracer right there to get the kill on the Anubarak right there.
Yeah, you can burrow, but you can't hide from the explosions.
Yeah, and right now we're watching Star Fox just bring down this front wall, and really, this is a really good response out of Lionspeed right now. They have the level lead, despite losing that fort in the bottom, and they're primed to take this first tribute. They've got the better positioning, right? Ooh, nice detainment strike onto the Tassadar. He's got to pop his E, and here comes everybody else. Another pulse bomb onto the Zagara, and yeah, this first tribute goes to the side of Lionspeed. I really love this.
Yeah, Lionspeed doing a very good job responding to the pressure of Cho'Gall by taking some lanes of their own. They didn't dominate one lane like Bang Bang did, but they did do a lot of damage to the mid and top lane. So Bang Bang looking to respond here and trying to even things out a bit.
Yeah, and we see that right now. Nice work from Cho'Gall trying to aim those shadow flares to get this creep out of the way, because you want to deny Zagara that vision. So they're just brute forcing this. They don't even care right now.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting to see a team just bull their way through walls. It's not something you see too often in Heroes. Usually that's punishable behavior, but pre-10 when you got a Cho'Gall and you got an Ariel, it can be tough to deal with.
And Zagara has so much vision right now along this bottom side. It's ridiculous. They're going to definitely see this come in. Tracer does not get the channel in time and is now being harassed by the Zergy bugs.
Yeah, Nubarek came in and did a lot of damage, but he's taken a ton of damage himself. They were looking to focus him down. Taskar getting a ton of value on his auto attacks, and Nubarek goes down. And then one of the Lost Vikings, Olaf, he goes down. Ariel looking to maintain, but she takes a ton of damage, and she's going to go down. Now they're focusing on the Cho'Gall. Stukov taking way too much damage. He has to back out. He catches a shield from Taskar. Taskar able to keep him healthy. Varian trying to move in. Tracer play. She does enough damage, and the Cho'Gall goes down. Lionspeed showing their dominance with 2 tributes, and they're going to take this wall and move on to the 4th.
Yeah, that was just an absolutely incredible team fight from Lionspeed right there, just saying, we don't care about your Cho'Gall nonsense. You can keep soaking lanes. We're just going to out-team fight you because you have no team fight at this point in time. That Cho'Gall, however, did stay alive far longer than he had any right to.
Yeah, and Balog going down in the mid lane. It looks like Eric was in a little bit of trouble up there from Tassadar off the rotation, but he was able to escape as the teams reset and look to establish their position on the map.
Yeah, and during that last team fight, that Stukov got so much value with that silence, it just people were just trapped inside there for, 10 seconds, and that's a catastrophic amount of time to get silenced for. Felt like
Yeah,
10 seconds.
yeah, that silence is very dangerous. And the benefit of having 10 now, they got to try and long range poke harass this channel, but I don't think they're going to be able to do it, Zax.
Yeah,
They don't have the kind of sustain to stick around forever. Tracer's just standing still. Balog tries to come in and disrupt her, but she's going to just die right away for his efforts.
yeah, and now we've got a curse going on the side of Lionspeed, and Zagara getting the network set up, top and bottom lanes, and really the poor Viking really can't do much here to stop this fort from going down.
No, this is the problem with the Lost Vikings. They can be very weak if you don't secure that experience lead, and they never really got it. They were hoping to with that early fort, but they've been behind pretty much this whole game, despite having the Lost Vikings in all three lanes.
And it looks like they're going to maybe go for boss here, and I don't hate this play. They're going to be so busy pushing out their own lanes that there's really nothing that they can do to stop this.
I'm not a big of a fan as an invade boss play. It's the one play right now that can lose you the game, and I mean, here comes Cho'Gall. They're going to try to get it, and I think a disengage is the smartest decision here. You don't need to risk anything if you're Lionspeed, but they don't seem to care. They're just going in.
Yeah, with the taunt variant and all the extra heal they have between... Oh, nice detainment strike to get the Tracer off of her. I know that Pulse Bomb is coming out here real soon, and Zagara has a nice little Nidus network that was there for a little bit. Tracer does miss the Pulse Bomb onto the Anubrak, but doesn't care. Goes in, lands the melee, recalls just in time to miss that detainment strike. The Olaf goes down in the meantime, and a Cocoon is on the...
That Cocoon was on Tassadar.
Oh, Shadow Flare comes out, done a whole bunch of damage, and the Stukov does go down in the meantime. Dantroop having to run away, nothing to charge to except enemies behind him. He's in a world of hurt. Shield walls once the damage from the consuming blaze right there, but this is a foregone conclusion. He's definitely going to die. Nice, another nice shield wall right there. I believe he just ate the hammer from Cho'Gall. Yep, Hammer of Twilight. And now this is the time, if you're Bang Bang, to get your boss.
Yeah, this was a sloppy play by Lionspeed. It all started off with that kind of bad choice to make an engage on their boss when it wasn't really needed. Your boss was sitting there nice and safe. You had a curse going. It was time to step on their throats and maintain your lead, not take a risk and try to end.
Yeah, but in response, we do see Lionspeed take this, take the aggressive siege camp. Balog goes down. This is actually kind of troublesome for Bang Bang.
Yeah, they can melt this keep fairly quickly with the damage from Tassadar, Tracer, and Zagara. All very good siege heroes when left unchecked, and they're going to respond and try to save this keep. And it looks like Lionspeed's going to elect to retreat here, or at least attempt to.
Nice shove onto the Anubrak. The Shadow Flare does come out. Cocoon onto Zagara, and she gets let out from the Tassadar. Stukov does go down. The Pulse Bomb onto Cho'Gall right now. They're really focusing this Cho'Gall. They really want to get him down, but Ariel just keeps him alive. Play again from the Vikings, but it's just going to lead to those Vikings dying. The Avatar... the Archon avatar, listen to me, the Archon does wear off, and now we've got another tribute phase coming up.
And you see Zagara setting up these Nidus networks across the map so she can continually look for ways to push in. She had 2 on the bottom lane so she could get right back at that keep, and Bang Bang cleared that out and said, no backdoor shenanigans for you, Missy.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the boss is just putting pressure on top lane.
Yeah, it's not gonna be as terrifying as what happened in that bot lane, but it does hit that front wall.
It's pretty close. Yeah. The walls are opened up for both teams here, and right now we've got Bang Bang invading, and as I said with Lionspeed earlier, I think this is a bit of a mistake. They need to disengage this, and they wisely do, because there was nothing to gain by invading there with 3 people.
They did find that another Nidus network from Zagara right there. Pulse Bomb onto the Cho'Gall. Shove comes out, and Cho'Gall gets taunted. This could be a bit of a problem. Silence from the Stukov. Olaf does go down again. Shadow Flare from the Cho'Gall goes out, throwing balls and bombs everywhere. Another charge. Played again. Does get popped on the Vikings, bringing them all to the lane. And here comes Cho'Gall. Seachel in a whole lot of trouble. Stukov does die as this tribute spawns. And this game is kind of getting out of Lionspeed's hands, I feel like.
Yeah, with the Stukov going down, you can't afford to engage, and you just don't have the extra sustain you need to deal with Gaul. They're trying to put all the damage they can on with the Tassadar, but the Tassadar is going to take a lot of damage and go down because of it. He's unable to sit there and duel Cho'Gall like he has been to with some effect when he has Stukov behind him.
Yeah, and this is very, very dangerous for Lionspeed. Despite the really strong early game, Cho'Gall just goes back in, does not care. This Tracer is going to be in a bit of trouble. Blinks out. Nice quick reaction right there. A Hammer of Twilight probably would have sealed her doom.
Yeah, we've seen some very good tank play on the side of Varian, always stepping in front of things to body block skill shots, put his shield walls up at the same time, at the right time. He's really keeping his team in this as they look to try and stop Bang Bang from getting this boss.
This Olaf is in a lot of danger right now as he's tanking the boss. Nice heal. Eric does go down in the top lane. Zagara has been left pretty much unchecked. She's going to get this top lane. And that other Viking, the middle one I can never remember, he's going to go down.
Veilog,
that was it.
Yeah, see, these boss invades have been points that they've been trying to do to secure their lead, but neither team really has the firepower to get it done super quickly. Right now, though, they're going to counter and take their own boss back from Team Bang Bang as Bang Bang looks up to get the tribute, but Zagara's already there because of the network.
Yeah, and not only that, she took that top fort. Oh, but she is in a world of hurt right now. Almost worth. Here comes the Nubarak. Played again. Popped once again. The Nubarak does go down. The taunt from Varian proving just too much. And Tassadar is just doing so much work. The Hammer of Twilight Crystal Agents onto the Cho'Gall. Ariel is going to go down. This is very dangerous for Team Bang Bang right now. Seachel in a whole lot of trouble. Tracer does come in. Gets the shield. Drops one Viking, drops another Viking, gets a third Viking. Oh, baby, a triple!
Yeah, the problem with the Vikings there, they can't do a lot in team fights when they're being constantly harassed by a Tracer or a Varian, putting out a lot of damage just deleting them.
And the boss got finished off that bottom keep.
So the boss is wailing away on core Lionspeed, looking to move in and end, trying to get a minion wave behind him on the right side while the boss finishes up. And he's going to go down, but not without some effort from a Nubarak, allowing them to push out the top lane. And it's looking like this is GG.
Yeah, I don't think they have enough to stop this at the end. The cocoon does come out, but 20%, 10%, they might stop? No.
Zagara never stopped attacking the fort.
That was honestly, that was a brilliant decision out of Zagara that game to just constantly pressure that top lane during all those shenanigans during that boss fight.
Yeah, I honestly think that should be a lesson taken away. You don't invade bosses unless you got the other team wiped, or at least mostly wiped.
Definitely.
Especially if you don't have a team that can melt it very quick. Now, Lionspeed had the potential to melt down bosses quick. They just, when they were trying to invade at that point in time, they didn't really have a big advantage from their curse. Most of their minions had been successfully dealt with, and they weren't going to get a lot of push. So really, boss check was the best play by Bang Bang, and they got there and brought themselves back into the game for a while until they decided to invade the boss.
Yeah. Double throw pit.
Yeah. Double throw pit. It's so appealing. You just want that boss to do so much work for you, but it doesn't always work out. Great win by Lionspeed, though, proving that you can't just pick some shenanigans and push us around like that. We're gonna come at you hard, and we're gonna give you that Tracer Tassadar combo.
I love that worked out. I love that combo so much.
Yeah, it's pretty fun to see it in action when Tracer can just keep getting her life back and move all around the enemy backline, picking up kills and putting damage on priority targets.
Yeah, it went. And like you said earlier in the game, I never considered pairing Cho'Gall with the Vikings.
Yeah, it was an interesting try. I don't know what the teams, if they had played around with that to some effect and it worked, and that's why they were trying to rush the bottom keeps and towers, or bottom forts and towers. But I mean, Lionspeed responded perfectly. They made sure they took what they could get in the top and mid lane, and made sure the experience lead never got away from them. And then the first chance they got to team fight, they took it because they had an advantage. And it didn't work out well right away against the Cho'Gall, but they got there, especially when they hit tens.
Yeah, they most certainly did. And it looks like our last map of the night is gonna be Battlefield of Eternity.
BOE, the gold standard of let's end this with a giant infernal maps. Right? I think so. But yeah, Battlefield of Eternity, you want people who can melt down the I'm sorry, the Immortals. I kept trying to say Infernals, and I knew that wasn't right. You want somebody who can melt down the Immortal while staying pretty safe. Someone with movement. Greymaine's always great here. I think he's probably one of the strongest picks for Battlefield. Maybe Vala as well.
There was that Battlefield game you and I played with last night where we put me on Greymane, and I had over half of our team's damage on the Immortals because you guys were defending, leaving me pretty much unmolested to... I don't know why they didn't come bother me. They just let me hammer away at that Immortal. But really, it's just one hero, so sometimes it works out that way, and then sometimes the other team just says, hey, there's that Greymane, let's all go kill him.
Yeah, it's when you're playing, I mean, me and you playing casually, but people tend to play with one of the worst habits you can have when you play heroes, outside of never checking your mini-map, is having tunnel vision. I'm still prone to it all the time. I think it's one of those things where if you sneak off and you start putting damage on the Immortal and the team doesn't catch you, and they're busy team fighting, you can get away with a lot.
Yeah, no, you definitely can get away with a lot. And thankfully this time, I've allotted us enough time for this game to go up to an hour, which won't happen.
Yes, we've got plenty of time. We won't be missing any casts. Look like set standby is ready, and we're going to go right into the draft here. Bans in Battlefield of Eternity, Zex. What are your thought process when it comes to picking your ban choices and your first pick choices here?
You definitely meta picks obviously, but then you want to start dealing out targets who can deal a lot of damage in a hurry. So you want to ban out the Valas, the Greymanes, even the Malthaels, the Lunaras.
Yeah, I think Lunara is very strong here. It's one of her best maps. She just has the ability to put those poisons in all those weird nooks and crannies where a lot of the team fights take place, which is around the Immortals. And when you got those little poison area of effects, they can be very hard to spot in all the chaos.
I thought you were going to say something like putting all that poison where Immortals don't like it. Which,
yep.
I mean,
they
don't like it.
No. Nobody really likes poisons.
You don't.
Except Rogues.
What?
You don't poison a god?
That's fair.
What do you say?
I don't know.
I think we're not quoting the same things right now, so we'll move on.
I think Mr. Chooch is missing the station there.
Yeah.
Oh, Garrosh. Yes, I love it. Okay, finally, a Garrosh. And I didn't see who was on which side this time. So,
bit of a mystery draft.
We'll find out here in a sec. So,
I think teams were on the same side this time, but I'm not
sure. So it'd be Bang Bang on the right side and Lionspeed on the left.
I think I won't know for sure until I see the names, though.
Yeah. So, I mean, Garrosh is a really good pick here. Wonderful displacement. Doesn't like poison damage, though.
Yes.
Really, what do you say to that? I mean, they picked exactly what we were talking about. They went with the Lunara. I'm not really sure about the Lucio just yet. We'll see what they decide to go with later on in the draft. But we see the Varian and the Rhaegar come out. And
I think on the right we might be having Lionspeed. because left showed the affinity for Lucio, and right showed, I think, yes, if I'm guessing.
We'll do a quick swap if it
Right.
I have it on cue.
A ban on Zagara. They don't want more Zagara shenanigans. If I'm correct, and Bang Bang is on the left side. On the right side, they're considering their ban. I think right here you probably want to choke out the support. You already got a good, strong support. An Uther ban here again like they did last time, so it doesn't complement the Lucio, would be very strong. Greymane's still a very viable ban as well. He's seeing less bans these days, though. Teams have ways of dealing with Greymane, so...
Karazhan wouldn't be a bad pickup here on the side of who could be Lionspeed.
Yes.
If they do ban out that Uther. Karazhan... Okay. All chat throwing me off there a little bit.
So
they're discussing who they could ban, but we see the Abathur banned, and that would actually be really annoying to deal with. Double Lunara, I mean, even a double Greymane if they go that route. The only thing that worries me on the side of Bang Bang is that they're very melee heavy at the moment.
Yeah.
And you're already fighting into a Lunara, so that's not a winning proposition.
No, I think you're going to need to focus some range heroes coming up, because you cannot go into Lunara with 4 melee. It is just not a good idea.
Yeah, definitely not. And if they throw a Greymane into that mix and a strong tank and another support, that's going to be absolutely horrifying to deal with.
Yeah, for sure. We're just waiting to see the picks from the team I believe to be Team Bang Bang on the left here. And we see Arthas and Greymane.
Oh my god, this is a terrifying draft.
Yeah, you're seeing all strong damage dealers. They're going to be able to have a lot of control around the Immortal here, because just simply from the amount of damage they could put out. And like I said, even if they don't take up a second support, Lucio's gotten better and better these days. He's closing in on solo support territory.
Okay, hear me out. Hear me out. Last pick for Lionspeed. You're gonna laugh. Chat is too, probably. Apparently Bang Bang is on the left side. Thank you for noticing that. Tehran.
Tehran's great here. I think Bang Bang could be considering Tehran as well. Tehran's just a strong pick on Battlefield of Eternity because of her trait, the Hunter's Mark, which allows her to deal all targets to take, or whatever is targeted with the Hunter Mark takes increased damage from all sources. Instead, we see the Azmodan and the Li Ming.
I don't know how I feel about this Azmodan. It's probably going to go laser build. Because I don't see Sieging Wrath or Taste for Blood getting that much value here. I love the Li Ming pick, though. The Li Ming will get just all kinds of value with being able to just poke away at that Immortal constantly. It's going to really force that Arthas into soaking that damage.
Yeah. It's one of those things where Azmodan can end up being a very strong pick, but you're going to have to hope he doesn't get caught in the focus of fire too much. If Lunara targets him out and tries to get him burnt down all the time, Rhaegar's going to have that heal ready, so that could leave either Garrosh or Varian open. It'll be interesting to see how Lionspeed approaches their engages, because they have kind of an awkward team for it.
Oh my god! They are just going
scary.
all of the damage, because Azmodan's incredibly beefy, Varian's going to be incredibly beefy, Garrosh is going to be incredibly... Like, that's just so much healing on the side of Malthael, and they really have no way to stop him from pressing Q other than Taunt, Warlord's Challenge. So right there, that's 2 ultimates you're committing to stopping Malthael from pressing a normal ability.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty tough to deal with, especially since Bang Bang is going to have the opportunity to win most race situations with that much damage on one side compared to really just Li Ming and possibly Asmodan, depending on how good his how I'm sorry, how he is able to manage his laser around the immortal. Remember, that's a very important aspect with the immortal stuns. It can be very awkward to kind of channel Asmodan's laser without getting stunned. Not to mention, it sucks up a lot of mana and doesn't really secure you the immortal for sure just by itself.
Yeah, you're definitely correct on that, and I think what is that? That gluttonous ward he can pick up at 4. I think that's so underutilized, and
Yeah.
it will help with burning down that immortal. It keeps his mana up just enough. So, but anyways, we're on Battlefield of Eternity. We are Nexus Commentaries. Balrog, why don't you go ahead and introduce our teams?
Representing the blue team, we have Team Bang Bang, and on the gray main we have Kronos. On Arthas we have Null. On Lucio we have Nate Dogg. On Malthael we have Set Stand By Someone, and on Lunara we have Hotcho.
And on the side of Lionspeed, we've got Big Wiz on the Lord of the Dunk himself, Asmodan. We've got Sechel on the Rhaegar, Glaucius on the Li Ming, Star Fox 64 on the Garrosh, and Dan Troop on that Varian.
Yeah, Dan Troop showing that he was a very competent Varian player in the last game with his body blocking and his shield walls, so
Nate
look
Dogg
for him to make plays.
Nate Dogg taking a lot of damage. Li Ming threading that needle, showing that she too could play for the Cleveland Browns someday. So, Kronos.
Garrosh hits the pull on the toss. Goodbye, Greymane. Your check is in the mail, my friend.
That was just a filthy combo right there. Great reaction out of that Garrosh to immediately capitalize. And I love that he goes Warbreaker at 1.
Yeah.
Warbreaker, he's going to, once he finishes that quest, Lunara goes for a ride. Shades of Marvel vs. Capcom 2's theme music. Let's go. Garrosh just on point right now. We see up top, we're watching the laser do some work on Malthael. It's kind of hard to heal up from that laser damage when it's constantly going on you.
Yeah, I don't know that I agree with the response of sending Malthael solo up there. Someone like Lunara Greymane's better served.
Arthas gonna go down as well. Just, you can't. I love this out of Lionspeed. They're just straight up punishing anyone who gets into that Warbreaker range.
Yeah, Bang Bang is really not respecting Garrosh's early power and range. They need to readjust their strategies when they're dealing with him because they're allowing him to toss them right into his team every time.
Oh, Lunara goes for another ride. Just a bad day. Extra set of ribs for everybody on top of a dead angel of death. Just, this is amazing. Garrosh is like, I want some druid ribs tonight.
Yeah, Bang Bang might have went too damage focused in their draft because it's going to be very hard to deal with the presence of Garrosh in the early game, and if you lose the early game too bad, it becomes impossible to come back in the mid game.
Garrosh is looking for somebody to pull again. Like, he is constantly hunting for these pulls, and I love it. Greymane goes in real quick. Kronos is about to die. Goes down for his efforts. Garrosh taking a lot of damage, though. That poison is no joke. He hits the bloodlust onto that opponent, and Malthael trying to get a death shot out to everybody, but there's no way. Like, this was the problem with Lionspeed's draft. Incredible team fight, no damage for the Immortals. The opposite is true. Like, if somebody gets put out on the side of Bang Bang, they're dead. There's nothing they can do to stop it.
Yeah, and the problem is that Lionspeed has a lot of options for opening the kind of play up, but yeah, I mean, they lost that Immortal race.
Yeah, so we're gonna watch see how Arthas goes for a ride, gets thrown behind the wall. Null and void at this point.
Come on, Null, you gotta respect Garrus's range at this point. You see him tossing your friends up all over the place. Stay out of the man's warpath.
The true war chief of the Horde, just showing his dominance right now. It's just absolutely incredible.
Lionspeed looking to further their lead in the opening game as they rotate.
Ooh,
to top
Big Wiz
camp
in a
after
lot of
successful
trouble right now. He is trying to juke jive, and Lunara's on him, but gets booped backwards. Big Wiz just trying to delay as much as possible, gets a minion out. Couldn't get the dunk out, but we see Arthas on top going down as well. Just Null trying to get as much damage in on everybody as possible, and just this is a crazy, crazy game. I love it. I love it when it's this action-packed. And
Yeah.
Lunara getting a little too close to that Warbringer once again, and she needs to play careful.
Yeah, you got to really respect Garish's range. If you don't at this point, I don't know what game you're watching or playing, because he has been mincemeat out of your backline thus far. And respecting what he can do to your team is something they need to think about every time they go in for an engage at this point, because they find themselves falling behind every moment that passes. Now we see that Lionspeed is going to go after their loser camps and try to get some more pressure for them going in the top lane.
Yeah, and Asmodan just doing work in this bottom lane right now. Malthael just having, honestly, a lot of trouble. And I was right. He did go, Asmodan did go Master of Destruction at 1. So, but he's going for more Demon Warrior build. So this is actually pretty interesting build out of the Asmodan for split pushing on this map.
Yeah.
Oh, Malthael gets tossed and obliterated.
Yeah, it happens too quick when you get too close to Garrosh. He's willing to just grab you and throw you, and you got 3 squishies on your team. You gotta play more careful around Garrosh.
Yeah, and right now, Lionspeed's looking to take advantage of this. Garrosh missing the Warbringer right there. Has to be careful to stuns. Nate Dogg going in, trying to boop somebody back, but takes an awful lot of damage in the process. Star Fox 64, about half health. Nice root on a 2 from the Arthas right there. And now, Bang Bang looking to maybe try to press this advantage and go for some immortal damage.
Yeah, this is where they're going to be strongest at on this map. Anytime they get a chance to put some damage on the Immortal for free, they need to take it.
Oh, Lunara goes for another ride, gets destroyed in the process. And you see how quickly they can just kill somebody. Her health was gone in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, when they gang up on you, you're not going to last long, especially with all that damage come from Asmodan's laser and Li Ming's spells.
Ooh, Arthas goes for another right. Null just not respecting the throw from Garrosh right there. Greymane's going to go for a right as well and has to disengage out of there as the orb barely misses him. And this is just... I don't want to say it, but I think this is Lionspeed's game to lose, really. Ooh, they gotta be careful. Misses this immortal stun right there. Nice root onto 2. Varian using that shield wall. Set stand by someone getting thrown back. Rhaegar does go down from all that damage. Rhaegar still in a lot of trouble. He's gonna die as well.
And in the meantime, on the top lane, Lunara put enough damage on Varian. Varian having to protect himself, and he's going to tap well and get out just in time.
Yeah, that was a really nice shield wall right there. But Li Ming hitting that B step, some disrespect from Glaucius right there. And
well, it sounds like you kind of initiated our first ever caster's curse, in which you just said it was Lionspeed's game to lose, and they immediately lost an engage and control of the Immortal.
It's true. But
so, blame Zexrus here.
Yep.
If you're a Lionspeed fan, that turnaround from Bang Bang was brought to you by the Nexus Commentary Curse.
So right now we see the Immortal heading towards the bot lane as we see that Garrosh spray hit the ground. No shortage of Manor sprays in this game. I love it. And once again, they just keep putting that Malthael on the Asmodan to try to stop him from... Ooh, Arthas does die as I just got there. I was watching.
So last time with the Immortal phase, Null got too close and Garrosh tossed him over the wall and he killed. Happened again.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Yeah, Null really needs to start respecting Garrosh's range. He's consistently getting tossed and putting his team in a bad spot when they have an advantage. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Malthael goes in on Asmodan and takes him down.
Yeah, I was waiting. That's what I was waiting for earlier, but it didn't seem to happen. And then we watched that kill on the Arthas. Well, we missed that kill on the Arthas, and we see Lunara and Kronos right now, waiting for someone to come by.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to pretend like they're baiting that camp and seeing if they can catch somebody coming around investigating, but they're not going to get the opportunity, so they just rotate up to the lanes and try to get their dominance going up in the top lane. They have it wide open. No one's around to defend. They might just go in on this fort. That's exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah, they need to, because right now Bang Bang is taking that top fort, and I'm kind of surprised they didn't stick around for that. Well, they're leaving Malthael up top, so there is that. Lasers coming out from lasers on all the heroes right now, coming out from Lionspeed to get that fort down. But
yeah, you saw what quick work they can make of the structures
Kronos
with
goes
that.
in for the ride. Warlord's challenge comes out onto two. Lucio hits the sound barrier. In the meantime, Greymane does go down. Charlie, take it over. Hit it.
Oh, Null taking a lot of damage right there. Garrosh is going to die in the confusion of the team fight, but the rest of his team marches on, and they delete the Lucio. What a team fight for Lionspeed. They're really cleaning up these team fights. I think if you're Bang Bang, you have to really consider not engaging in team fights at this point because they're not going your way. Focus objectives and hope to get back in the game there, because right now Lionspeed is looking in complete control.
This counter curse also brought to you by Nexus Commentaries.
Yes, the counter curse. So Lionspeed looking to clear up some of this pressure on the top lane and also pick up their siege camp. They're going to be grabbing the shamans for the bruiser camp and getting them going in the top lane, looking to defend a little bit before they go in for the next Immortal phase. And meanwhile, Bang Bang doing the same exact thing.
Right now, if I'm Bang Bang, I want to play defensive. Garrosh doesn't even care, just runs in, gets the throw into Lunara. She is just gone. We hear the cursed bullet hit the Garrosh, and doesn't even matter really. Very forced to disengage from that stun. Hits two people, and nice flash from the Greymane to kind of dissuade any extra aggression. Except for Star Fox, don't care. He's gonna keep hunting for another Warbringer right there to throw somebody else back, and we hit the halftime phase. So
yeah, Star Fox playing really aggressive on Garrosh, putting his team in a great spot to be in control of these fights here.
Yeah, this is a really favorable position for Lionspeed right now. They need to be careful to not hit that stun. Varian goes in, has to. Oh, who is that? That's
Malthael. He cut the toss and caught the loss. A lot of damage.
I love that.
Ooh, the Ancestral out right out in time, and Greymane's going to go down thinking he was going to get that kill. Lucio follows the same path. Arthas is next. Lunara's trying to hop away, but she's just one deer man. Taking so much damage. Lunara's able to skip on out of there, though, as Lions just decides to focus on this Immortal. Probably play, push the advantage. Make sure you keep the pressure on. You're going to back off health. Take control of these lanes. Finish off these Immortals. What a beautiful transition there from Lionspeed.
Yeah, that was just an absolute wonderful capitalization on one toss right there. Yeah. They absolutely punished the attempt to save them. And to be fair, Bang Bang had to fight right there. They couldn't lose. They couldn't lose their Malthael that quickly. They needed it for the team fight. Because if they didn't have him, that was just a lost cause anyways.
Yeah, you're behind and you're at equal talent tiers. It's the best time to fight to avoid something like this. And didn't go the way of Team Bang Bang, as Lionspeed was able to turn that team fight around in their favor off the back of that huge Ancestral.
Yeah, and Lunara goes down again. Garrosh just does not care how many legs or rib cages you have at this point.
He will toss you It doesn't matter. He picks things up and he puts them down, but he puts them down in front of his teammates.
Yeah, and this Immortal is still pretty healthy at this point. This is... Ooh, Nate Dogg going for a ride. Lucio.
You see the immediate collapse on all these heroes. That's just very oppressive for Bang Bang to deal with. That didn't even look fair. What is your hitbox, sir? I demand.
Oh my god, and then he pulls 3, throws the multi-hail into everybody. This Star Fox is just playing out of his mind right now.
I demand to see this man's hitbox.
What? Star Fox, calm down. They're already dead.
That last throw was complete magic. He was nowhere close.
That was just amazing.
Great Lionspeed. They were just all over the place with Garrosh. I mean, whew, you get tossed and thrown like that so many times. It does something to you, man. Bang Bang's gonna be thinking about that one for a while.
Yeah, that was just... Whew.
It's gonna be like when we were playing and we were banning Diablo every time because he kept giving us fits. I feel like moving forward, Bang Bang might go, hey, remember that Garrosh game? Maybe we should ban Garrosh.
Yeah, no kidding. So that takes care of our first game. Our next game will be at 10 p.m., so about 35 minutes from now, and that is going to be a Division 1 game, and that will be Rixer for Kids versus Seraphim.
Ooh, looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's going to be a good game, because we saw Rixer for Kids last week, and they just completely steamrolled the Golden Mishas.
Yeah, which was very surprising.
And Rixar for Kids are the first place in the Division 1 right now. So keep that in mind. So this is the top team of cheerleading at the moment. There is nobody close to these guys according to the standings.
And it will be our lucky pleasure to cast them.
Absolutely. I want to thank everybody who hit that follow button. We've got 8 new followers tonight so far. I want to thank each and every one of you. You guys are awesome.
You know, I want to give a shout out to Lionspeed's fans. They are showing up in chat. Lionspeed, you got some great fans. They're in here hanging out, rooting you on. They were down after game 1, and then you delivered 2 games in a row and made your fans happy. So thanks to Lionspeed's fans, and thanks for Lionspeed making them happy.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in about 34 minutes, 33 minutes. I'll just set some random time. So until then, enjoy the music, and we'll be back here shortly.